Hi, welcome to Raga Made Easy. I'm your host YJ Aaron House. This is Chapter 4, Part A. In this chapter, we will explore the two Raga scales that I left out in the first chapter. That is 1.1 Angie Angie and 6.6 Natai Natai. These two scales, Angie Angie and Natai Natai, are called Vivadi Ragas. Vivad can be loosely translated as contentious, argumentative, opposite of samvad. Samvad means a good conversation, a good debate. So, as the name suggests, these two scales are very difficult to sing because it has unique pitches as its notes. Angie Angie uses diminished third and diminished sevenths, which have pitches 224 cents and 926 cents respectively. These pitches are unheard of in Western music or any other music of the world, as far as I know. And to the best of my knowledge, it is not used in Hindustani either. So I guess we can safely say that these two scales, Angie Angie and Natai Natai, along with T Natai Natai and T Angie Angie, is exclusive to Carnatic music of South India. If you look at the slide, on the top line, I've given the pronunciation of these notes. I have made a slight difference in the inflection of the third and the seventh. So the sargam notes will go as sa, re, go, ma, pa, de, no, sa. As we have learned earlier, re is of course minor second. Now go is diminished third, different from minor third and major third, which are pronounced ge and go respectively. Similarly, the seventh, no is diminished seventh, pronounced differently from minor seventh, ne, and major seventh, ni. I have made the slight modification in pronunciation inspired by the Western solfege do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, so that while communicating, it becomes more succinct. Each time I don't have to say it is a diminished third or a diminished seventh. When you say go instead of ge or ga, you know it's a diminished third. Similarly, when you hear no instead of a ne or a ni, you know it is a diminished seventh. But I must warn you that it is a custom in India to sing only with, that is sargaming, singing with the sarigama padanisa, only with 7 syllables of 7 constant pronunciations. So while singing, you can decide whether to use only 7 syllables to sargam or 16 syllables with 16 different pronunciation while sargaming. But it is my opinion that if you practice with 16 different pronunciation for 16 different notes, your relative pitch for these pitches could stick to your brain a little faster. So if you have skipped the chapter 3 that was on Carnatic tuning, you may not know that these diminished third and the diminished seventh have different pitches, which are 224 cents. That is diminished third, go is 224 cents, and diminished 7 is no, 926 cents. So on an electronic keyboard, you have to tune the major second, which is usually set at 200 cents to 224 cents, and your major sixth, which is usually tuned factory set for 900 cents to 926 cents. The default tune of all pianos is the Western tuning of ET tuning or equal tempo tuning, which, as I told you in the previous chapter, it is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000, and 1100 for the 11 semitones. Unfortunately, human vocal cord does not work like that. As we learned earlier, the human vocal cords works by dividing an octave into simple fractions. Once you have tuned the keyboard to Carnatic tuning, the first tetrachord sa, re, go, ma will sound like this. And the second tetrachord pa, de, no, sa will sound like this. And both together the whole scale will sound like this. in the keyboard pattern that you have to memorize, there is an anomaly that the third of the scale, which is a diminished third, is so close to the major second that we are retuning the major second key to the diminished third. So you should memorize the keyboard pattern that the major second key is retuned to get the diminished third pitch of 224 cents. Similarly, in the second tetrachord, the major sixth, even though highlighted in the keyboard pattern, you should bear in mind that it is tuned to the diminished seventh, which is 926 cents. This difficulty arises because the world has a 12 note system while Carnatic music has a 16 note system. And we don't have 16 keys to represent 16 semitones in the pianos available today. You should also pay attention to the symbols we use for these diminished third and diminished seventh. So we use for the diminished third G with a upward arrow to differentiate it from the minus third lowercase g, and a major third which is an uppercase G. Similarly, diminished seventh will be small letter n with an upward arrow, different from minus seventh, which is a lowercase n, and major seventh, which is capital N. As seen before, the only change in the tritonic angi is the fourth, which changes from perfect fourth to tritonic fourth, that is from ma to mi. So it will be sa re go mi pa the no sa. Only the first tetrachord will have the change from ma to mi, that is perfect fourth to tritone. Now let's look at pattern 6, nati. Here in the first tetrachord, we are using augmented second, pronounced as rho, which is 274 cents. And in the second tetrachord, we are using augmented sixth, which is 976 cents, which is pronounced as dho. So on your digital piano, you should change your augmented second key to 274 cents and augmented sixth key to 976 cents. Now, the keyboard that I'm using, which is the Yamaha PSR 740, can only tune minus 64 cents to plus 63 cents of any key. So I have to tune my minor third key to the augmented second key of 274 cents, because minor third key is usually tuned to 300 cents. So you can bring it back to 274 cents by decreasing 26 cents. Similarly, the augmented sixth can be tuned on the B flat key, because B flat key is usually tuned to 1000 cents, which you can bring it down by 24 cents and get the augmented sixth pitch of 976 cents. As I said before, the pronunciation of these augmented notes are slightly different from the regular one. That is, the augmented second will be pronounced ro, and the augmented sixth will be pronounced dho, or do for you. And the symbol for it will be, augmented second will be capital R with an upward arrow, and augmented sixth will be capital D with an upward arrow to represent dho, of course. So the whole scale can be communicated and or sung as sa, ro, ga, ma, pa, dho, ni, sa. I repeat, sa, ro, ga, ma, pa, dho, ni, sa. So while retuning your ro and your dho, that is your augmented second and your augmented sixth, also remember to retune the ga, ma, pa, and ni to pure tones. So ga will be, pure tone of ga is 386 cents, so you have to bring it down by 14 cents. Ma is 498 cents, so you have to bring it down from ET tuning by 2 cents. Pa is 702 cents, so you have to bring it up by 2 cents from the ET tuning of 700 cents. And ni is usually 1100 cents, 1100 cents. You have to bring it down by 12 cents to 1088 cents. Then the scale will become totally pure and it will sound like this. And of course, the pattern for T nati will be only one note different. That is, the perfect fourth will become the tritone. I forgot to mention that the tritone used for Angie Angie, T Angie Angie will be 610 cents, which is the intervallic tritone or intratritone. Its Indian name is Rakta, Rakta. In T nata, the pitch used is 590 cents, which is the pure tone tritone. And its Indian name is Kshiti, Kshitih, Kshiti. We have to use these different pitches for natai, and that is T natai and T angie because of very specific reasons that I will explain in the next section. If you interchange these pitches, all the other intervallic pitches will turn out to be taboo tones. It is to avoid that we have to use these specific tritones for these specific scales. Now that we have completed all 6 scales and its patterns, I hope you will try to remember all these 6 patterns so that you can make 72 Melagartha ragas, that is wholesome scales or heptatonic scales, and thousands and thousands of other scales. As we already discussed, the added advantage is from the name you can deduce the notes within an instant. Some of you may be wondering why bother about the 16 note system when the 12 semitone system itself is good enough. But let me tell you, some of the compositions using especially natai is so beautiful that you would be missing out on these melodic patterns.